Gentlemen, what is going on today? My name is Ryan Mickler. I'm your host and the founder of the Order of Man podcast and movement. Welcome here today. If you're brand new to what we're doing, this is a mission to reclaim and restore masculinity. And my job is to give you all of the information, tools, resources that you might need to thrive as a husband, father, business owner, community leader, however you're showing up as a man. We've been going for almost 9 years strong now. And we have, I think, over 1,100 podcasts in the bank, including over 460 interviews with guys like Tim Tebow and Tim Kennedy and Jocko Willink and David Goggins, Andy Frisella, Ben Shapiro, Matthew McConaughey, Terry Crews. I could go on with the lineup of men who have joined us. But this is a testament to what we're doing and a testament to the power that takes place when men band together, all working towards common objectives, which in this case is to reclaim and restore masculinity. So I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to talk with you about how a man finds purpose in life. This is one of the most frequently asked questions and topics that men bring up. How does he find purpose? Because he's not satisfied with his life, not satisfied potentially with his career or his family dynamic, and wants to find some ways to reinvigorate his life and feel like it's important, meaningful, and that he's significant. So I'm going to get to a couple of key points that you can incorporate. What I would suggest to you today, and I don't always ask this, but get your notepad handy. If you have a notepad or an app that you can pull up and take some notes, because you might be listening to this as you're working out or doing some errands or chores or commuting to work, you might not be in the position to do that, but I'd like you to refer back to this and do some of these exercises that I'm going to give you, especially if you're not feeling like you're producing and achieving what you desire in life and you're not feeling good about where you currently are. Now, before I get into that, I just want to mention very briefly my friends and show sponsors over at Montana Knife Company. I use their knives exclusively for hunting. I don't use any other knives. They do the trick. They get the job done out in the field. They look good. They perform well. And one of the most important things is that they're 100% made in America by people that I know. I've broken bread with these people. We've enjoyed laughs and projects and events together. It's my good friends over at Montana Knife Company. So if you're looking for a new knife for yourself or a gift, or maybe your hunting party as we begin to roll into the new year and spring hunts, look no further than montanaknifecompany.com. And when you go over there, use the code Order of Man, because you're going to save some money. And if you're going to buy a knife anyways, you might as well save some money on it. Order of Man is the code at montanaknifecompany.com. All right, guys, let's get into this. How a man finds purpose in life. Number one, I really want you to realize that in the process of discovering meaning and significance and purpose, you can actually find it where you are. And you ought to look where you are first. One of the things that my co-host with the Ask Me Anything and I often talk about is making sure that you're maximizing where you currently are. A lot of men will think that life is just going to be better because they happen to be in a different environment, a new position, a new career, a new line of work, a new life. Guys, it doesn't work like that. If you haven't developed a skill set that you need, if you haven't maximized your performance where you currently are, there's no other performance, there's no other project, there's no other place that is going to help you feel better about who you are. You have to learn to maximize and leverage every single opportunity that you have where you currently are. Let me give you an example of that. Order of Man is my purpose. I am here on this earth to run this movement, to create a business, to inspire millions of other men. I believe that. I didn't always know that was the case. Even as I started, I didn't know that was the case. But one thing I did is I excelled in my financial planning practice, which is what I did prior to this. I wasn't out there looking for something better at the expense of what I currently was doing. I wasn't half-assing it in my current job. I wasn't taking it easy. I wasn't coasting. I was trying to maximize everything that I could. And one thing that I did that drastically altered the course of my life about 10 years ago is I decided to start a podcast. And that podcast was called Wealth Anatomy. And it was designed to teach and educate medical professionals on how to invest, how to retire, how to create estate plans, how to create retirement planning, how to create employee benefits for their colleagues and coworkers. And I did that because I thought podcasting would be a great way to promote what we're doing and my services. Now, I did about 20, 25 episodes, and I realized very, very briefly or shortly that I love podcasting. I love being behind this microphone. I love being behind this camera. I love sharing and communicating an important message to people in this medium. And I wasn't doing it so I could go start Order of Man. Order of Man wasn't a thing. It wasn't even on my radar. I did it because I wanted to maximize my business, and I believed that the financial services that we offered were important enough that as many people as I could get to hear what I had to say was extremely, extremely important. So I launched this podcast. Again, realized I loved it, but I found out that I didn't want to continue to have the same conversation that I was having for about 8-9 years with financial services. And so after about 25 episodes, I took everything that I learned, which wasn't a lot, but enough to then use that experience to leverage into what is now the Order of Man podcast. And I started this as a side project. I didn't anticipate it being a global movement. I didn't anticipate it being my career path. I didn't anticipate the amount of men, millions of men that have heard our messages, that have implemented what we share, and have actually gone on to do great things themselves. That wasn't even on my radar. I was doing the financial, I was satisfied. And yet I found this out simply because I was trying to improve where I was. I've had all sorts of job opportunities and different things come up because I was fully engaged where I was. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And if it is, then you're going to find that out because you're doing everything that you possibly can at work right now, or your life, or your marriage, or whatever facet of life that you're showing up. Guys, go all in currently. Maybe there's a new project at work that you can take on. You don't know what that's going to turn into. Maybe you recognize something at work that you need to improve, and you have no idea what that will turn into. Too many of us as men are saying, well, that's not my responsibility. They don't pay me to do that. And we do the bare minimum while we're telling ourselves we want to find our passion and our purpose. Guys, if that's your mentality, even if you found what your passion and purpose was, you probably wouldn't recognize it, let alone go all in on it, because you don't know what it takes to go all in on something. So go all in with where you are. And through the course of going all in and investing and pouring time and energy and resources into your current occupation, into your current relationship, into your current hobby, don't worry about finding your other passion. That will come, I promise you. It doesn't seem like it will because you think it's out there. It might be, but we need to do what we can right now where we are, which will give us better opportunities to find whatever it is out there or create something where we currently are. Guys, number 2, I want you to explore all of your hobbies, all of your interests, all of your activities, all the things that you've ever thought you wanted to do. I want you to start exploring those things. I want you to say yes to those things. You never know where that's going to take you. Maybe you've always wanted to run a firearms course. You like firearms, but you've never taken a course, and you decide that, hey, I'm going to sign up for this course because it sounds interesting. Who knows? That could lead to you becoming a firearms instructor. Will it? I don't know, and neither do you. But we owe it to ourselves to find out. I just got tickets to do something that I've kind of wanted to do, but kind of scares me at the same time, is skydiving. It's always been on my radar. It's something I've wanted to do. Again, I'm not overly thrilled about it, but it's an opportunity to do something. I'm in the position to be able to do it. I have the time to be able to do it. And so I'm going to go do that with someone else, and we're going to go do it together. I'm a little scared. I'm a little freaked out. Maybe it turns into nothing. Maybe I do it once. Maybe I want to get certified. I have no idea, but it's something I'm interested in, and I owe it to myself to go explore it. Too often, men will not explore those veins because they're busy and they have other responsibilities and they have obligations and they can't take time off from work and all the other excuses that we create. Or they tell themselves, this will never produce any money. It will never produce any income. I'll never make this my career. I'm not as excited about this to turn it into my passion. One little caveat with this is we're going to go do these hobbies, interests, and activities with no expectation of results. You're not there to make it your passion. You're not there to make it your career. You're simply there to enjoy the experience that you've always wanted to participate in, and you might find something that you genuinely love. Maybe it's golfing, painting, hiking, rock climbing, shooting, skydiving, cooking, sewing. I don't know what it is, but if it's interesting to you, then go do it. If you've always wanted to be a pilot, go go sign up for school and go do, or at least take a flight in a helicopter or a fixed wing, whatever your desire is. Move towards what is calling you. Here's what I found. There's not some thing whether it's God or the universe or whoever, that's going to come and bang you on the head and tell you, this is what you should be doing. And has you kneel in front of them and dub you on the shoulder with the sword, and you rise a knight, and you rise, with your passion and your purpose and calling in life. It doesn't work like that. It's usually something very small, something you didn't even see coming, something you didn't anticipate. It was just a little voice or a little urge or a little desire to do something. And the guys that have found their passion, they followed it. Not with the expectation of anything in return, but purely for the experience. They had one experience, they liked it, they did it again and again and again. And they started to delve more into that arena and world. And lo and behold, here they are now, very purpose-driven, very passionate about their current occupation or field they're in. That's how it works, guys. When I started Order of Man 9 years ago, I didn't know it was going to turn into this. So I did a podcast, and I'd work 2 hours in the morning and I'd work an hour or two at night after my quote unquote real job. And then it was 3 hours, and then it was 4 hours, and then it was 5 hours. And then eventually I decided I need to take this full time. And I sold my financial planning practice to a friend and colleague so that I could go all in on this. But it didn't happen until I was willing to take the first step, then the next, then the next. Number 3, here's some questions that you can ask yourself. The first question, and write this one down. What problems do you see in the world? What problems do you see in the world? I know we like to poke at certain activists, and, there's certain movements that, I don't necessarily agree with, that I think are a real problem, actually. But you can't take away anything from the fact that the people who are engaged in these things, even if it's ignorant or intelligent, wherever it is on the spectrum, they're passionate about it. Guys, there's a problem with the world. I don't know what you see as the problem. I only know what I see as the problem. And the problem I see is that we don't have enough males stepping up and making themselves into men capable of leading themselves and other people well. I saw that growing up. I see that as a man. That's a real issue. That's a real problem that I think we as a society need to address, or we're doomed. And because I believe so strongly about it, I'm going to put myself in the arena, in the game, and do something about it. So maybe for you, it's hunting. Maybe it's climate control. Maybe it's, who knows, world peace. Maybe it's solving hunger. Maybe it's ending wars. I don't know. Again, some of this stuff I don't necessarily agree with. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is that you see a problem that needs to be addressed. Maybe you have a better way or a better mousetrap that could solve the biggest problems in the world, and you would find meaning and satisfaction from that. You don't need to solve the problem today. You just need to put your foot in the water and get yourself in the game. And once you do that, you're going to start to expose yourself to all sorts of new information and different people and new ideas and new industries that are going to eventually move you towards this thing that could be calling to you. Guys, if you see a problem in the world, then it's your responsibility to deal with it. Oftentimes, I'll get an email from guys who will say, hey, Ryan, here's a problem I recognize and I see. You should do something about it. No, you should do something about it. I've already got my challenge. I've already got the problem I'm trying to solve. Now, I'll help you. I'll assist. I'll promote if I think it's a worthwhile cause, but I've got mine. What's yours? Don't message me and tell me you want me to do it. I'm going to message you back and say, you do it, and how can I help support you in solving the problems that you see? Which leads me to my next point. There are some experiences that you've had in your life that are going to help you see those problems in a way that I can't. So, for example, I grew up without a permanent father figure in my life. My dad was primarily out of the picture at a very early age. I had a couple of stepfathers come into my life who weren't great examples of what it means to be a man. I saw that as a problem. As a young man, I would have liked to have had a better role model, a better influence in my life. And because of that, and because I see that now as a problem, I don't want other men to experience that. I don't want my children to experience that. So I'm going to do everything that I can to improve my own situation, to give other men resources and tools and information they need to be able to make sure that that doesn't happen to them or the people in their lives. I'm uniquely qualified to do that. And sure, There's millions and millions of other men who have gone through similar or worse circumstances than I have, but the experiences that I have make me primed to be able to solve the problems that I see. Did you grow up in a similar situation? Did you grow up in extreme poverty? Did you grow up in an abusive household? Were there opportunities that were afforded to other people and weren't afforded to you? What was the issue? What did you experience? And how did you overcome these challenges? Because if you overcame it and you have a successful roadmap for doing it, then you can teach other people how to do that. And that would be very rewarding and fulfilling to you. So let's recap real quick, and then I'm going to give you some questions that might help prime the pump a little bit with regards to how you can identify what you have an aptitude or desire for. So again, number one, finding your purpose as a man is to start where you currently are and maximize every opportunity, leverage every tool and resource you have, and be the best at whatever you're currently doing. I promise you it's going to create opportunities. Number two, explore, even to the small degree, all the interests, hobbies, and activities that sound interesting to you. If you've ever wanted to go do something, go do it. If you ever wanted to hike the Grand Canyon, you ever wanted to go skydiving, you ever wanted to take a firearms course, you ever wanted to learn how to cook more effectively, go do it. No expectation. This is not necessarily your roadmap. You're just doing it purely for the experience. And the more experiences that you create in your life, the better opportunity you have to find what it is you're meant to do and what you should be doing. Number three, what problem do you see with the world? And then number four is, what have you personally gone through and overcome that's going to help you solve other people's problems who are in a similar situation as you? Now, point number five, I'm going to give you three questions that I think are very, very important and will help give you a little bit of access or insight into what you should be doing. Okay. Number one, what would you be doing? What would you be doing if money were of no concern? If all your bills were paid, everything was taken care of, what would you be doing? Now, I know there's people who like to be kind of smart asses on this and say things that they want to do. Fine, whatever. If that's your thing and that's what you would go do, then that's what I'm talking about. Okay, if you would go live in the mountains as a mountain man and that's all you would do, good. Like, how do we get you to that point? How do we make that a reality for you? If money were of no concern, no bills, all the bills were taken care of, no debt, independently wealthy, trust fund, whatever it may be, what would you be doing with your time? I would be doing this. I love this so much that even if money were of no concern, I would still be doing this. It's that important to me. Second question, what advice are people asking you for? Because what you're going to notice is if people keep asking you for business advice, then they see something in you that you might not see in yourself. If they're asking you, how do you take such amazing pictures? Or maybe you share some of your thoughts on social media and a bunch of people are asking you, man, how do you write like that? Or how do you articulate your ideas so well? Or how do you present so well in public? Those are little insights. If you have a bunch of people asking how you present so well in public, maybe there's an opportunity for you to start teaching other people to present the way that you do. If other people are asking you how you take pictures so well and how you see it, the lighting and Photoshop and all the things that you're doing, maybe there's an opportunity for you to leverage that and begin to teach other people as a career with how to take pictures, beautiful pictures. Okay? Whatever people are asking you for, if you see a reoccurring theme, you might be onto something. And the third question here is, what am I doing when time goes the fastest? What am I doing when time goes the fastest? Because at that moment, you're in the zone. You're in flow, as Stephen Kotler might call it. You are seeing it in real time. You're completely immersed in what you're doing. There's no distractions. You're not thinking about anything else. You're fully present in the moment. And when time is going fast, you know you're hyper engaged, which means that you should be finding more opportunities to be in that state. Because that's the state where you perform the best. When time is going the fastest, nothing else matters. You're all in and there's no distractions. If you can figure out what that is, you might be onto something. So again, it's what would I be doing if money weren't a concern? What advice are people asking me for? And what am I doing when time goes the fastest? So those are 5. Now, guys, the last point that I want to make for you today, and look, I don't have the answer to exactly how you're going to find your passion. What I wanted to do today is give you some questions and give you some fuel to begin to think about what you might be doing and drive yourself towards action. You have to take action. Nothing's going to come smack you across the face and say, this is what you need to be doing. You need to take action towards new things, towards existing things. That's how you begin to find your passion. The last thing is I want you to tap into a higher power. I believe in God. I tap into God's presence in my life. I pray to God. I look for divine inspiration. I ask for opportunities for me to serve other people. And that gives me a sense of power. It gives me a sense of clarity. It gives me a sense of direction. And it helps me see that there's something bigger than just myself. I can't imagine being in a position where I believed that all of this would go away and none of this really matters in the eternal perspective. To me, it does. And because it matters, the way I show up matters. The ends in my mind do not justify the means. The way I show up matters. And if I show up properly, and if I show up the way that I feel I should based on my moral compass, then I believe the ends will take care of themselves. So what is your higher power? Again, I believe in God. If it's God, if it's the universe, if it's karma, if it's some sort of cosmic muse, I don't know. I don't know what it is for you. But if you believe that there's something bigger, maybe it's just a sense of community. Maybe that's your higher power. Maybe you just have this innate desire to serve humanity because that's the right thing to do. If there's something bigger than yourself, you can see the picture from a step back and realize that even though you might be a small part to play, you're an integral part of the purpose, of the grand plan, of the grand design. So find whatever that is. Ask people about spirituality. Ask people about what their higher power is. Ask people what drives them, what motivates them. I used to believe that if you didn't believe in God, that it didn't really matter and you couldn't have a moral compass. I don't think that's true. I think even people who are atheists and don't believe in God at all or any form of higher power, still, many of them that I know are good people. Okay, well, where does that come from? I think I know where it comes from. You disagree with me, so you tell me, where does that come from? And then use it as fuel to serve that higher power or that higher moral compass that you abide by. I think that's probably one of the most powerful things you can do. And you can do it on a daily basis and continue to ask yourself, what is my purpose, my small, seemingly insignificant purpose in the grand scheme of things? Where do I fit in? What should I be doing? For me, my desire is to become the best man that I possibly can be. To be the best protector, to be the best leader, to be the best servant of the people that I love and care about, to provide for those I love and care about, to provide and protect for those who can't take care of themselves. If I can be that kind of guy, then I can go out and I can help other people do the same, which I believe is the way to live for me. What is it for you? Explore it, consider it, contemplate, pontificate, think about what that might be, pray about it, tap into the higher power, and I think you'll begin to find your answers. But let's not fall into the trap of saying, hey, if it's God's will. I don't believe it works like that either. I've seen so many men say things like it's God's will, and they let opportunity after opportunity and experience after experience pass them by because they're waiting for God to interject. I don't think it works like that. I think he has a desire for you to do great. I think he's going to present opportunities for you to do so. But it's ultimately up to you to take advantage of them, to recognize them, and to move forward with the opportunities presented. That's how you find your passion. That's how you find your purpose in life. I can't tell you just draw from a hat. I'll put a bunch of things in here, draw from a hat. I can't tell you that one day you'll just wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, realizing what you're meant to do on this earth. All I know is that regardless of your station in life, if you're satisfied or fulfilled or completely demoralized maybe in life right now, if you just keep going one step one foot in front of the other towards the triggers and things I gave you here today, that over time you're going to build your purpose. You're not going to find it. You're going to develop it. You're going to articulate it. You're going to uncover it. You're going to build it, as we have here with Order of Man. So guys, I hope that helps. If you have any other insights or ideas on how you can find your purpose and you want to share those things, share them with me. I'll share them with the group. You can check it out at Instagram. You can join our Facebook group. You can even sign up to be notified when our exclusive brotherhood, the Iron Council, opens back up. We're all trying to help each other find our purpose. That's at orderofman.com/Iron Council. And you have your marching orders. I want everybody to find their purpose. The world would be a better place if we did. But too many people, too many men are playing less than they're capable of because they're just going through the motions and they're not engaged in these things. Let's recap, and then I'll close out for the day. It starts with where you are. Number 2, explore all hobbies, interests, and activities without expectation of results. Number 3, what are the problems that you see in the world? Number 4, what experiences have you gone through that make you uniquely qualified to solve some of these problems? Number 5, what would I be doing if money was not a concern? What advice are people asking me for? And what am I doing when time goes the fastest? And then number 6, search for a higher power. All right, guys, I hope that serves you in some way. I'm fulfilling my purpose and mission, and I hope I'm doing that effectively. I want you to go out and do the same. Guys, we'll be back next week for our interview show. Until then, go out there, take action, find your purpose. Actually, I'll say it this way. Build your purpose and become the man you are meant to be.